Hello guys and welcome back to another Fortnite Vegas weapon showcase. Today we're going to be looking at the rare, that's right, the rare, not the unique, the Ranger Sequoia. This is a variant of the hunting revolver. Now there are several ways to acquire this weapon. First of all, if you have negative relationship with the NCR, they will send NCR veteran rangers after you. Sometimes NCR veteran rangers can be carrying them. However, if for whatever reason you want to maintain good relationship status with the NCR, the best thing to do is to do the quest Return to Sender. To do that, you need to talk to Tech Sergeant Reyes at Camp Follow and Hope, which is located just near Novak and just before the 188 trading post. A lot of NCR quests will lead you here, though, to be fair, so you don't need to worry about that too much. Basically, all Return to Sender has you do is go to various different ranger stations across the wasteland, gather information because somebody has been spooling the radio full of misinformation. Eventually, after doing this quest for a while, you will come into contact with a ranger chief called Chief Hanlon. Now, he's a very troubled man. I won't really spoil too much about the quest. You guys can do the quest for yourselves and discover what you want. However, taking his Ranger Sequoia is still considered stealing, so I suggest picking it up and taking it to a room where there's no NCR soldiers around, sneaking and taking the weapon that way. You will lose a bit of karma, but not too much. Now, because this isn't a unique weapon, it is a rare weapon, we don't really have a weapon to compare it to, but it is very similar to the hunting revolver. It uses the same ammunition type, it looks a lot like it just without the scope, so we're going to compare the stats with the hunting revolver. In fact, before I tell you the stats, another way to acquire the Ranger Sequoia is sometimes, apparently, the Crimson Caravan vendor can sell them, but I've never experienced that, so I don't want to say that's true or not, because I've never seen it, but I've just read online that that is something that can happen. Now, looking at the hunting revolver's stats, you need a gun skill of 75 and a strength stat of 6. That's to get the most damage out of the weapon, of course. The damage is 58, the DPS is 87, the crit is 58, and the critical hit multiplier is ×1. AP cost is 31, and the weight is 4. But the hunting revolver does come with a scope attached to it, which is another advantage it has on the Ranger Sequoia. Now, the Ranger Sequoia's stats are a gun skill of 75 and a strength stat of 6, just like the hunting revolver. The damage is 62, the DPS is 104.6, the crit is 62, and the critical hit multiplier is ×1.5. AP cost is 30, and weight is 4. Now, what I will say is, when I've actually used this revolver, I never really used the Ranger Sequoia, but after testing it out on some Cazadors, Caesar's Legion, and even some Nightkin and Deathclaws, I want to say this is probably the best revolver in the game. I might even say this is better than the Mysterious Magnum. And I love the Mysterious Magnum, but I feel like the Ranger Sequoia is better. Just the ammunition is a bit harder to acquire, but remember, you can always buy 45 government rounds from the Great Khan's armourer. But please note, to actually buy ammunition things from the Great Khan armourer, you do need a good reputation status with the Great Khans, which, depending on how you've played the game and what you've done at various encounters before you even reach Red Rock Canyon, could maybe already say whether or not you can buy ammo from them. Obviously, looking at the Ranger Sequoia as well, it is a beautifully designed gun, obviously, with the black metal frame, the brass hammer and iron sights, and even on the grip, you have the NCR's two-headed bear. Now, there is some lore around this revolver. Basically, this revolver was gifted to Ranger veterans who survived the first Battle of Hoover Dam. As far as I'm aware, that is who this revolver was given to. Almost like a medal kind of thing. So as always, guys, that's going to be it from me about the Ranger Sequoia today. So as always, thank you very much for watching. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you in a bit.